I'd like to welcome you to this edition of EMU Today TV. My name is Mark Salah, and I'm your host, and we appreciate you tuning in each and every single month. And we want you to sit back and relax to enjoy the conversation. And a very, 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 very special first guest is Mr. Maher Salah, and he is the Vice President of Advancement and Executive Director for the EMU Foundation. And I have been looking forward to this conversation because it's going to help educate me in terms of what the role of the foundation is. Maher, thank you for joining me. How are you?
I'm doing great, Mark. Thanks so much for taking the time today, and I'm looking forward to speaking with you.
We're so glad to have you. Let's just jump right into it. Let's talk about the foundation and talk about what is its purpose, its mission for the university.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. So, essentially the foundation is the philanthropic arm of the university. So, like a lot of universities, we're a separate 501(c)(3) charitable organization that is governed by a board of trustees. But our express purpose is to raise money and provide financial support for students, programs, services, and the entire community here at Eastern Michigan University. And, really, we do that primarily through building strong relationships. So through communication, engagement with our community, with our alumni, and really, first and foremost, thinking about how we can help people who had a tremendous EMU experience. Our alumni, 175,000 strong. They want to stay involved. They want to give back. They want to help ensure that current students, future students have that same experience. And so our job is really to help nurture those relationships and engage those folks. Additionally, we have friends in the local community, foundations that want to make an impact through supporting Eastern Michigan, corporations, other organizations, they want to collaborate. And so our job is really just to be that open door and help everybody have that access to supporting the institution, supporting our students, and giving back in that way.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. I mean, a lot of times, we know that state funding has been a challenge, and certain universities are relying on foundational support. Talk briefly about that as well in terms of the importance to the university.
Yeah, historically, a long time ago, public universities didn't necessarily have to focus as much on philanthropy because state funding was really, really robust. But appropriations in the state of Michigan for higher ed have essentially been flat even before you adjust for inflation. They've essentially been flat for the last 20 or so years. And prior to that, they were declining. We actually received $2 million less today than we did 21 years ago. And excuse me, unfortunately, as a state, Michigan ranks in the bottom 10 or 40th in the nation in terms of per capita investment in higher education. So you couple that with the fact that nearly 60% of our student population and 90% of our first year students need some type of financial aid. It makes philanthropy and gifts critical to close that gap for our students, that tuition and state funding that only gets us, most of the way there. We need philanthropy to really close that last bit and help our students be successful.
As you talk about, philanthropy, and we talk about the importance to the university. To a lot of people, philanthropy means one thing, it means something else to somebody else. And I'm glad to hear we talk about the balance in terms of helping the university look ahead from a resource perspective. What are some of the programs that have been beneficial, have been a benefit of the philanthropy community here at Eastern University, where the foundation supplies support, where it supplies those resources to help us get it to the next level?
Yeah, when we think about, what our biggest needs are, first is access. So as a university, we want to help our students access an affordable EMU education. And so scholarships have been a huge priority for us and in a big area of success. As I mentioned earlier, nearly a third of our students identify as low income and half are eligible for federal Pell Grants. 1 in 5 of our students are first generation students. And so we have to do everything we can to raise scholarship dollars to help make school as affordable as possible for students. So that's a huge priority for us and a huge area of success. Student success and belonging. So first we have to help students get here, but then we have to help students be successful, right? And so a lot of our fundraising efforts centers around the things that students need while they are here. So enhanced academic advising, kind of like community and cohort belonging programs. Some of our students, one example, some of our students, they may have enough money for tuition and room and board, but they may not have any left over for, the groceries or to kind of pay bills. And so one of our big fundraising priorities is our Swoops food pantry. And so students who may not, have the ability to kind of fully fund their sustenance and needs, they can come to the pantry. The pantry generally sees about 80 people a day who come in and are able to visit and get the food that they need, get the additional supplies that they need, the basic necessities to sometimes help them get through a month or get through a semester. And so we really focus on that kind of full wraparound support that our students are going to need to get through. And then lastly, it's getting students here, helping them, be successful while they're here, and then launching them into their career when they leave, right? So over 80% of our students cite that, their main reason for coming to college is to get that first job, right? And really kind of go forward. And so we spend a lot of time focusing on, how can we help through our alumni network, through corporate connections, through helping to fund internships, giving our students the access and the opportunities to jobs and to employers, so that when they do get that degree and they do graduate, they're landing in that first job successfully, and that's setting them up for success for the rest of their career.
One of the things I get my greatest joy, as you all know, I'm also an instructor at Eastern Michigan. I've been teaching here for quite a while. I've been teaching here, I should say, for quite a while. And I'm also an alum of the university. And one of the greatest joys I get is when I go around town or Ypsilanti or Metro Detroit, wherever I might be, a lot of former students will stop me and tell me and provide the good news about the academic experience at Eastern Michigan University, but also getting that first job. To your point, they're very happy that Eastern was a platform, allowed them to get to the next level. And I believe we have a success story that you want to share with us. I think there's a young man by Mitchell Quinn, I believe, is a young man that was a triple major in quantitative economics. I'll let you take over the story.
Yeah, I mean, so Mitchell is one of our scholarship recipients. He's a member of the Brotherhood Sisterhood Scholarship Program. So when students get scholarships, we ask them to write a letter of thanks to their donors. And Mitchell wrote a letter, and it essentially said, I have faced at different points in my life homelessness and abandonment and so many challenges. But he's literally triple majoring here at Eastern. And the investment that the donors made in the scholarship that supports him, he essentially said that's an investment in me, and that's you showing that you believe in me, and you're giving me the opportunity to continue to persist and continue to chase my dreams. And it simply would not be possible. He doesn't have the support system. He doesn't have the family to be able to do that. And so there are so many students we have that have different and unique circumstances and challenges, and scholarship support and donor support helps get them there. We had another student who wrote a letter to her scholarship or to her donors and essentially said, I'm going to be the first person in my family to graduate. I have 2 classes left, but both of my parents recently passed away, and I didn't know how I was going to be able to pay for my last 2 classes to get to graduation this December. And your scholarship is going to allow me to do that. And even though, my parents aren't going to be there with me and watch me walk across the stage in December, like your gift is giving me it's helping me get to that last step and kind of go on to the rest of my life. And I know my family would have been so proud. So the impact that donor support has on the lives of people like Trisha and Mitchell is immense. And I could tell 1,000 stories like that, but I know we only have 15 minutes, but they're all equally impactful.
But I'm glad that you're highlighting those, because I always like to tell people that Eastern has, the students are hardworking students. I mean, the grinders, they're working hard, and to get this level of support from donors, to me, it warms my heart. I'm sure it warms everybody else's heart tuning in today to hear these types of stories. And I think I want to applaud the foundation for the level of support that you're providing. But before we segue too briefly into what's next for the foundation, I got to ask you about the social mobility ranking as it relates to the best in the nation. And can you share your perspective on the social mobility index as well?
Yeah, I mean, our motto as a university is that we're an institution of opportunity, right? And that all are welcome here. And so we're really proud of the fact that U.S. News, that is kind of like the most well-recognized university ranking system, in their rankings, EMU is tied for first in among all Michigan universities in social mobility. So this kind of considers the enrollment and graduation rates of economically disadvantaged students, and we perform better than anybody else in the state in helping economically disadvantaged young people come to college, graduate successfully, and then kind of go on to that upward mobility. And so donor support for, again, all the things I mentioned, scholarships and wraparound support services and job outcomes, all of those things are going to help us continue to stay number one in that category and continue to live out that mission of being an institution of opportunity and really serving this region in Southeast Michigan and the state well.
We have about a minute remaining or so. Let me ask you one final question. So talk about the future of the foundation. What is on the horizon? What can we expect moving forward?
I always joke, Mark, I've never been doing this for 20 years. I've never had a boss or a president ask me to raise less money than I did. So every year it's, yeah, right. It's onwards and upwards. So, but we're going to continue to focus, like I said, supporting our students and their success and their outcomes. One thing we're excited about that's coming up December 3rd is Giving True Day. That is EMU's kind of version of Giving Tuesday, the National Day of Philanthropy. We are setting a goal for the first time ever. We want to have over 1,000 individual donors give for Giving True Day on December 3rd. So mark your calendars. It's a great time for people to make their year-end gifts. www.emish.edu/foundation. That's where folks can give online. And then again, as we continue to go forward, we're going to be thinking about bolstering the existing programs we have and new programs to support our students. And what we always say, the last thing we say to folks is that we're here to help our alumni, to help guide them on their journey. So whatever inspires you, whether it's giving to students from the college you graduated from, a new building project, or supporting our faculty, anything you support here at EMU, again, you're giving the gift of opportunity to our students and our community. So we welcome anybody to reach out to us and our staff here at the foundation, and look forward to being partners with folks who want to support EMU.
That's awesome. The website is posted at the bottom of this screen as we're talking. So go to the website, get more information. Thank you. Great work, great conversation. I enjoyed the conversation. Learning more about the foundation. Keep up the great work as well.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate the time.
Absolutely. Eastern Michigan celebrating its 175th, anniversary. And we want you to sit back and relax and check out this video. And when we come back on the other side, we're going to continue the conversation about philanthropy. Hang tight. We'll be right back.
175 years, a legacy built on ingenuity, forged with grit, and shaped by curiosity.
For what is the function of an educational institution, except to kindle the fires of enthusiasm, of intellectual curiosity, of ambition to overcome obstacles, of hot indignation against wrong, of a burning resolve to make a better world?
Since its origins as an institute for teacher education, open to men and women alike, to its current status as a forward-focused public doctoral research institution, Eastern Michigan University has set a standard that still holds true, that serves as a beacon for culture and change in Michigan, nationwide, and around the globe.
For the first 50 years of its existence, it was almost the only institution in the state which was engaged solely in the training of teachers. Just think of the tremendous influence of that one teacher.
Eastern Michigan University has grown from a teacher's college to a university of dynamic disciplines and diverse perspectives, where everyone is welcome.
I wonder how many of us were our first time in our whole family to go to school. And nobody in my family ever thought of a PhD. Never. So it was, for me, that. And there are many of those students still now who come here
It's important that students also have rich opportunities outside the classroom. Leadership opportunities, involvement opportunities, opportunities to make a difference in their own way on campus and in the community.
EMU is an original in terms of balancing quality and care. It's your neighborhood university with an international reach and a thought leader that's always thoughtful.
We have some of the finest faculty, staff, and administrators in the country. But let's not forget the students. The students of Eastern Michigan University is what we're here for. Students have graced this site since 1849 and will continue to.
And our students that come here care. They want to be known. They want to have highly skilled people teaching them who know their names. And that is something we get at Eastern. And that has always been our strength. And God, I hope it will always be our strength.
I wanted to go somewhere where they had a free-flowing campus, where it was vibrant. People were out. People were laying out on the grass, reading books, throwing a football, playing frisbee, doing all those kind of things. And I got all of that at Eastern.
I love it here. I love who we are. I love the opportunities that we have to help students break through that proverbial glass ceiling. When we say we are a university of opportunity, we give people opportunities that other places would not give people. You know, at the end of every day when we reflect, you kind of think, what do we do today that really lived up to that statement, that we are an institution of opportunity? And as we move up in the rankings and as we find more placements for our students, that we hear stories of grads that go off and do great things. That's what brought me here. That's what keeps me here.
We've walked hand in hand through history, learning, growing, and evolving together. With unwavering tenacity and boundless curiosity, EMU is determined to help shape the world, one mind at a time.
All right, welcome back to EMU Today TV. I hope you enjoyed that video. 175 years. I can't believe it. Wow. And I have not been around for the entire time as an alum and as an instructor. All right, welcome back. And we're going to continue the conversation, talk about philanthropy in action. What does it look like? Well, we have some very special guests joining us. We have Luempert-Coy. She's the alum and the EMU Foundation trustee. Anita Rich is the professor of interpretation, performance studies here, and Kate Inman, and she's an EMU graduate and recipient of the Lumpert-Coy Family Endowed Scholarship. Thank you very much for joining me. We're going to jump right into the conversation. Molly, let me start with you. You are certainly no stranger to giving back to the community. Can you share a bit about your background and your connection to the university, and why are you engaged? Why are you so much involved?
Absolutely, Mark. Well, I graduated, did my undergraduate and graduate degree from EMU. Fortunate in the public relations and political science for my undergrad in 91, and then my master's in communication in 92. I've been a part of the EMU Foundation board for 11 years. I was a former chair of the board, and now I'm emeritus trustee. But certainly I've been very active in the EMU community with the undergraduate symposium for 25 years, with the Swoops Pantry, and with a lot of our DTE Energy Foundation related programs like the Louie the Lightning Bug electrical safety program with Professor Rich here. And certainly then on a personal level, contributing to a family endowed scholarship.
Yeah, we heard about the recipient. We're going to get more conversation about that, I should say, as this conversation continues. And let me just personally say thank you for your service and thank you for your commitment to our great institution as well. And Professor Rich, not only are you faculty here at EMU, but you're also the program manager for the Louie the Lightning Bug. And I say that with, wow, Louie the Lightning Bug. Tell us what that is. What is it? And what do you enjoy about being involved with Molly, DTE, and our EMU students?
Well, Louie the Lightning Bug, actually, when I think of Molly, I think of a connector. So Molly reached out about 19 years ago and reached out to Communication, Media, Theater Arts, and we started this program. So what we do is students go out and teach young children about electrical safety. And so we have students who've been working over the years. We have been in collaboration for 19 years. And it's a great way to give back to the community and also to serve students because they learn so much in the field doing this.
How long have you been a professor at Eastern, by the way?
I've been here for 28 years.
All right. And I want to thank you for
It's
your
amazing.
service and all that you're doing as well. And I mean that. We want to make sure that we acknowledge all of our professors, our staff, our faculty, because without you, we certainly can't have a successful university as well. So thank you for your service. Appreciate that. And Kate, I want to come over to you. You're a recent graduate, and we'd love to hear about your experiences at EMU as well. And what have you been doing since graduation? What did you get your major in, and what have you been doing? So talk about your experience at EMU.
Yeah, of course. While I was a student at Eastern Michigan, I was a public relations major. I was also dual major in public and nonprofit administration, which is what Eastern really kind of helped me with while I was a student. I was a part of the Alumni Student Association. I was an ambassador for them. I was also a part of the forensics team here. And what really helped was the undergraduate symposium, which is how I was able to get the endowed scholarship. All of it kind of helped where I am now, which is working in marketing. I am helping kind of with different communities as well as a volunteer and still giving back to the university.
Talk about the endowed scholarship. How did you become engaged with it? What was the process you had to go through to get endowed, so to speak?
Yeah, so the endowed scholarship came from being a part of the undergraduate symposium. I was doing a project with some of my professors on information sciences as well as classification. When applying for it, I kind of showed my interest in how we communicate with each other and how that communication is so important on different levels, such as with the government. And getting the scholarship was really, really important to me because it helped me, feel more comfortable in what my research was and continuing the research, and then also kind of helping further within some of my own personal budgeting.
Yeah, yeah. And Professor Rich, as the program manager, how do you measure the overall success and the contributions, certainly based on what the university has made over the years?
Well, we measured the success a number of ways. We see at least 5,000 kids a semester, or not a semester, pardon me, a summer, a season. And we also asked for feedback afterwards, and many of the sites ask us to come back. We also do some special events. So we have done Mott's Children's Hospital Light the Lights, Ronald McDonald House. We actually did a Make the Wish one time activity. So that reciprocity and going to libraries and presenting, we are always invited back. And I think that's part of the ways that we see the giving back to the community.
Can I jump in here?
Yes, please do.
Jump in, please.
Yeah, so
Absolutely.
I just want to give a big shout out to Anita and to her students. I've met many of these students at some of the events she's referenced. They've been just tremendous in their roles of outreach with the community and with the students. We've run this program, as Anita shared, for 19 years. That's about $200,000 from the DTE Energy Foundation. They've been a wonderful supporter, not only of the electrical safety programs, but of the Digital Divas, the STEM outreach programs at Eastern. In fact, we just completed a week ago Friday, a big STEM outreach. We brought in 14 volunteers, and our technical training center did a demo for our students to learn how to restore electrical power. They actually got outfitted in their PPE and demonstrated that, and the students got a chance to restore power. So whether it's, providing speakers, providing funding to Digital Divas, EMU electrical safety program outreach, we've supported the food pantry swoops as well. And then Kate, I'm so proud of you. It sounds like you're a wonderful, accomplished young lady. It's been our family's pleasure to support close to $35,000, in scholarship funds over the years. I'm very, very fortunate to have a company that matches my volunteer time and my contributions to the university. And so, that's been a wonderful experience.
And Molly, I want to jump in and talk about the endowment that you've established, your thought process behind it, and just talk about why did you decide to do it?
Absolutely. So I was brought up, with the value set of giving back to the community, and EMU was a big part of my community growing up. I had mentors like Dennis Began, and Gary Evans over the years. And, I was a scholarship recipient. So it was really important for our family to give back. I've been a part of the advancement committee for 25 years and certainly was a graduate in the CTA department. So giving back to that department meant a lot to me. It's important that we give back to those that support us and reach out and give us a hand up, as we grow as a person. And so that's why this meant so much to me to be able to help you with your scholarship. You're a sensational young lady with a very bright future.
And Kate, I want to segue back over to you. You heard what she just said about your bright future. Let's talk about your future. And you're representing our university, outstanding, DTE, you're doing some great things. So where do you see yourself going? And that traditional 5-year question, but how is this relationship helping you get there as well?
Well, 5 years is such a long time, but I have always wanted to give back to my community, even as a student, volunteering, working with students in high schools. I really want to keep doing that. And whether, it's bridging communities and communications or it's volunteering my time, that's what I've always wanted to do. And I think that's what I will continue to strive to do. I really, really love helping those around me. It just builds such stronger connections.
Yeah, and Anita, from your perspective, looking ahead as a program manager, where do you see the program going?
Oh, I think the program is going to continue strong. We always hire one student manager who's our booking manager and in charge of all those angles. And normally we have 10 students a summer we hire to go do the outreach. And we plan on continuing to do it and grow our numbers and service.
And Amali, as we begin to wrap up, we have a few minutes, we have a couple of minutes remaining. I want to give you an opportunity from your perspective, and obviously you're the leader of this organization in terms of being on board of trustees. Where do you see the future? What does the future lie ahead for us?
Well, I think the future is extremely bright. I know when I was chair of the EMU Foundation board, it was right around the beginning of COVID. And I remember sitting down, taking the student body president out to breakfast with Maher's predecessor at the time. We sat down and we talked about what was important to EMU and to students. And at the time, it was emergency scholarships, right? And it was support for food services like Swoop's Pantry. We as a board came together and did a wonderful drive to raise funds for scholarships for students' emergency needs. And then we also embarked on a first of its kind capital campaign that blew through a goal of $100 million. So, I see that as amazing. The work that we do as a foundation, the work that our trustees do individually to give back. The future is very bright for EMU students. I remember back, 33 years when I was a student, right? And, I was working part-time. I was going to school. I had rigorous academic courses. I was president of a sorority. I was vice president of the Greek Council and a student senator. And, it gave me the tools to grow as a person. And I think that's what we want to do for our students now is give them wonderful opportunities to grow.
And we have about 45 seconds remaining or so. And I do want to ask you, Molly, one more time, from your perspective, it's like a different question. Any advice to those who might be tuning in, and how can they become engaged? What do you tell them? How did it start? What do they do?
Absolutely. Get involved in a committee on campus. Lend your time volunteering. Consider making a donation to a scholarship, especially if you have a company that's willing to match. I was very fortunate to have a wonderful company and a foundation that supported my volunteer time. So, there are many, many ways to get involved, giving of your time, talent, and resource back to your university.
Well, I got to tell you, I've learned a lot in today's session, today's program, I should say. Molly, Kate, and Anita, I want to thank you for your hard work, your dedication, for helping us get the message out about philanthropy and action. We appreciate all you're doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
And for all of you tuning in, I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy day to sit back and relax and enjoy these conversations that we do every single month on EMU Today TV. I want you to go out, make it a great day, make it a great weekend. We will check you out next time. And oh, by the way, students, we're coming into that home stretch of the semester. I know Thanksgiving is right around the corner. So I want to take this opportunity to give you all an opportunity to enjoy your Thanksgiving as well as the holiday season. We'll talk to you all soon. Take care, everyone.